What is going on, everybody? Today I will be predicting all the New Year's 6 bowl games and also be predicting who I think will win the national championship this season. This will be my last bowl predictions video. I have been missing uploads lately, and I have unfortunately lost my last bowl predictions video that I had planned for you guys. So I'm sorry about that video not being uploaded, but 2024 is the start of a new year, and I'm planning on getting back to posting daily as much as I can, and I also want to start posting on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So I have a lot planned for you guys for 2024, and I'm really excited. But this video should be an exciting one, because we got some big games I will be predicting. But before I do get into this video, let me remind you to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And I hope everybody is enjoying the holidays. But without further ado, let's get into predicting these New Year's 6 bowl games. The first game I will be predicting is actually not a New Year's 6 bowl game, but I wanted to add this game in here kind of as a bonus because it was supposed to be in my last video, but I never got that video uploaded. And this is the game between Arizona and Oklahoma. This is just as big as any other New Year's 6 bowl game in my eyes, and I'm definitely very hyped for this game. So I guess this will be a bonus addition to the video, and these are two teams who have improved a lot from where they were last year. Oklahoma was 6-6 last year, and Arizona was 5-7. Now these two teams are playing really good football in 2023 and have turned things around. Oklahoma is used to being a consistently good team, but let's not forget where this Arizona team was just 2 years ago, being 1-11 and having a terrible season. And it doesn't get much worse for 1-11 being a Power 5 school. But look at Arizona now, because this year they are 9-3 and have won 6 in a row after a pretty slow start to the season. And you may say this Arizona team has been the hottest team in the country, and they are led by freshman quarterback Noah Fafita, who is not talked about enough, but he is spectacular for a freshman, and they also have a lot of other young guys on that team. So Arizona is really set for the future going into the Big 12, and they will be near the top of the Big 12. But for Oklahoma, you put together an amazing 10-2 season after having a pretty bad team last year, and you guys beat Texas. And if you guys beat Kansas or Oklahoma State, you could possibly be a playoff team. But former Oklahoma quarterback Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma this year was fantastic, but he has transferred to Oregon, and Oklahoma has lost their offensive coordinator and a lot of their offensive line. And they will have a tough first year in the SEC, but they will still be good, and they have a good young quarterback who has potential to be great in Jackson Arnold, and they have a good coach going forward. I could talk about these teams forever, but the video must go on, and I am going to go with Arizona to win this game, 37-28. Oklahoma lost too many key guys, and I definitely like this Arizona team to get a much-needed win. But here's some information on this game. This game will be played on Thursday, December 28th at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is a must-see game, so I'll definitely tune in for this game, and I hope you guys do too. But the next game is the first New Year's 6 bowl game between Missouri and Ohio State. This game will be played on Friday, December 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Ohio State has been the favorite for a while, but the line has just moved into Missouri being 1-point favorites as the time this video is being made. And it's probably because of how many players Ohio State has lost to the portal. But it will be interesting to see what guys step up for Ohio State, because they have a lot of talent on that team. But I am going to go with Missouri, because they've been on the rise. And I think they will pull off a close win, 27-24, maybe with a game-winning field goal. This should be a very fun game though. ESPN Analytics does have Ohio State with a 75% chance to win though. This should be an interesting clash between the Big Ten and the SEC. And I could see this game going either way. The next New Year's 6 bowl game is also a clash between the Big Ten and the SEC, and it won't be the last one. But this is a game between Penn State and Ole Miss. Should be an interesting game between that Penn State defense and that Ole Miss offense. This game will be played on Friday, December 30th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. This game will be played in Atlanta, Georgia. This game is very hard to predict because Penn State is a top-ranked team, but whenever they play good teams, they absolutely crumble. But the Big Ten outside of Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan is pretty bad. On the other hand, Ole Miss has a quality win against LSU and a decent win against Tulane. But the big games that Ole Miss did play, they lost, and they got absolutely destroyed by Georgia. And I guess Ole Miss beat Texas A&M, but they haven't done anything super impressive this year. But I am very excited to see these Big Ten versus SEC clashes. But I think I do have to go with Penn State to win this game, 24-21, in a 3-point game, just like the last game I predicted. I definitely think Penn State is the better team, but it's kind of hard to say because their offense has been very average this season. But the next New Year's 6 bowl game is a very controversial game between Georgia and Florida State. Two bad players are opting out of this game because we could see Florida State prove people wrong, and it would mean something, Or we could see Georgia prove everybody right and just destroy them. But none of it really matters because New Year's 6 bowl games always have opt-outs and don't really mean that much. But the 12-team playoff will help fix that. But I am going to go with Georgia to win this game 27-10. This should be a lower scoring game. And I really did like this Florida State team, but they don't have a great offense. And it's even worse without Jordan Travis. But Florida State definitely has a very legit defense, and they are not TCU. Georgia shouldn't score more than 30 points in this game, and they definitely won't score more than 40 or 50, like some people may think they will. But I still do think this Georgia team is definitely better than Florida State. But it should be an interesting game. Some people may consider this a playoff game because apparently everybody is joking about Florida State and Georgia being added to a 4-team playoff to make it a 6-team playoff. But it's all nonsense. This game isn't going to be a playoff matchup. But hey, maybe next year. The last New Year's 6 bowl game that isn't a playoff matchup is between Liberty and Oregon. This game will be played on January 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Oregon is heavy favorites in this game, and this game should be very lopsided, but you never know. But let's be real, I don't think Liberty really stands a chance. They played nobodies all year, and I got Oregon winning 45-17 in dominant fashion. And this game is kind of a reset for the Ducks going forward. They failed against Washington, not once, but twice. But they will win this, and the future is looking bright heading into the Big Ten. They will be a legit contender, definitely with the pickups in the portal and the recruiting they have done this season. And right now they have a top 5 recruiting class, and they have picked up 2 top quarterbacks in the transfer portal. But let's give props to Liberty for putting together an undefeated season and making it to this game, because they were literally an FCS school just a few years back. So that's pretty awesome. But Oregon should definitely win this game big. But here we go. It's time for the best part of the video, the games that you have all been waiting for. So it is time to give my playoff predictions and also give my prediction for the national championship winner. And let's start with the first of 2 playoff matchups, which is the game between Alabama and Michigan. This game will be played on January 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern Time in California, so both of these teams will have a far travel to play in this game. This is a huge game for both of these teams. For Alabama, you're back to where you guys want to be, making the playoffs and having a chance to chase another national championship. But for Michigan, you have a lot to prove. And believe it or not, out of all of these 4 teams, Alabama is the only team who has won a playoff game ever. And Michigan is 0-2 in playoff games. And they've had a lot on their plate with all the cheating scandals and not having your coach half of the season. But you guys have a chance to silence the haters and show this team is legit this year. And they are not a joke. Michigan is loaded with guys on the offensive line and defensive line, but so is Alabama. And the truth will come out. And I think the truth is that Alabama is the more experienced team, and they're the better team here. But this game very well could go either way. It's just very hard to pick against Nick Saban. But I do have Alabama winning this game 31-24. I don't see this game being a blowout, and I don't see any blowouts happening this postseason in the playoffs. These 4 teams are too even. But I have to go with Bama to beat Michigan because of their track record. And people say history may not matter, and it's a new season, but that's definitely debatable because Alabama beat Georgia again. Let's just say a coach will do what a coach has to do to win, and Nick Saban is the better coach than Jim Harbaugh. But let's get off of this game and go on to the next game, which is Washington versus Texas. This game will be played January 1st at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. This is the second playoff matchup, and winner will move on to play in the national championship game. This matchup between Washington and Texas is actually a rematch of the Alamo Bowl last season, in which Washington won. And I know Texas had opt-outs last year, and both of these teams are completely different, but that was the result last time they played. Washington is the underdog in this game, but they always are the underdog, and it might just be their comfort zone. This is nothing new to them, and they are playing a Texas team who has possibly the best win all season when they beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And Texas had some questionable games this season, but they've really turned things around near the end of the season. But Washington had a lot of questionable games this season also. But both of these teams are coming off stellar performances in their conference championship games. But Texas has been playing maybe their best football all season, coming off back-to-back blowout wins and having some key players back that were injured on the year, like quarterback Quinn Ewers. But Washington also returned one of their top receivers, and this team seems like they could be dangerous if they play their best ball, despite underperforming a lot this year. But Washington has shown they can win the close games. And does anybody have what it takes to blow Washington out with how tough this team plays? I don't see it happening. And I do think despite Texas playing really good football lately, I think Washington will have the advantage in crunch time in this game. And they really know how to win games in crunch time. And they also beat Texas last year, and Kalen DeBoer knows how to get the job done. So I got Washington winning 31-27. It should be a very close game, but if Texas wins, they might have to win by double digits, because Washington brings out the dogs in crunch time. I know a lot of people want to see Texas versus Alabama, and I would love to see that game. But my prediction for the national championship game is a game between Alabama and Washington. But before I give my prediction for the national championship, let's talk about how awesome this game could be. You would have two spectacular coaches, Nick Saban versus Coach of the Year Kalen DeBoer, and you would have the ultimate underdog Washington versus the ultimate powerhouse Alabama, who is the greatest college football team of all time. This would be a dogfight, and it would be legendary. And Washington may have some weaknesses on their defense, but their defense is very tough up front, and it shows up when the game matters the most. But if anybody can put a stop to the ultimate underdogs of Washington, I think it's Alabama. And I think it is Alabama's time for a national championship. And I have to go with the safe choice of picking Alabama to win and get back on top into the new era of college football. I would love to see the underdogs pull it off, but I think Nick Saban and Alabama will pull it off again, and I have them winning 35-28. It's really hard to predict the national championship winner. There's just too many scenarios. I could see any one of these teams winning, and I wouldn't be surprised. So I guess I'll just go with Alabama because they have the edge of having the experience in big-time games like this one. And they have the legendary coach, Nick Saban. But I could absolutely be wrong, but we'll see how everything plays out. But I'm very excited for the last 14 playoff, and I hope you guys are too. But that is going to do it for the video. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. I usually post daily uploads, but I have missed a few uploads lately. But I'm excited to keep posting more content, so tune in daily because we usually post every day, and I want to get back to posting daily videos. I've just had some issues with my videos lately, and I have missed some videos. So again, I do apologize, but we won't stop posting videos for you guys. But that's going to do it for the video, and peace out, guys.